we are talking about life and death. Life and death are the most profound experiences in our lives. As we journey between life and death, we often ask their meaning and the significance of life and death in our life. As humans, we seek to understand the very essence of our existence on this planet Earth. So, let's begin with life. Life is a miraculous gift. Life is fragile and temporary, but life is incredibly valuable. Many of us are taught from that very young age that life is a gift from our God. Indeed, we feel that way when we cherish the countless moments of joy, love, and discovery. Life is a series of experiences, both interesting and boring. All these interesting and boring experiences together form and they shape who we are and what we are. There are moments in our lives when we feel that we are connected to something greater than ourselves and greater than this universe. These are the moments that remind us that life is worth living and our presence in the world matters. Then there is death. The idea of death often brings fear, but death is a natural part of our journey. Death is a destination that gives life its meaning. For some people, death is seen as an end, while for others, it is simply a transition to beyond the realms of death. One thing is sure, death is inevitable and unavoidable. We cannot escape from death, so our time is limited. This fact pushes everyone to make the most of each moment so precious. There are stories of people, those who near to the end of their life, they describe the experience as peaceful. In contrast, there are some other people with unresolved conflicts, fears, and regrets. For those people, death may seem a painful experience. And if we die today, would we have regrets? Perhaps we would regret the time we spent worrying about things that didn't matter. Maybe we would wish we had been braver, kinder, or more present. A regret often comes from the things we didn't do, the moments we let slip away because we thought there would always be more time. Many of us have experienced the loss of someone we love, and with that loss came unspoken grief. Sometimes we carry this grief in silence, and it manifests as anger or it manifests as sadness. When we think about how we want to be remembered after our death, reflecting on the life we live, do we want to be remembered for our kindness? Or do we want to be remembered for the love we shared with the people? Or do we want to be remembered for our contribution to the world? Or do we want to be remembered for something deeper, for having lived fully happy life, for having embraced both the joys and challenges of our lives? Or for having accepted death as part of the journey? How do you want to be remembered? So there are many questions that rise. The choice is ours. The choice is ours. How do we want to be remembered? The choice is ours. People remember us reflecting on the life we live. Life and death are two intertwined realities that define our existence. As we move through life, we often forget the inevitable nature of death. But in doing so, we miss the essence of what makes life truly meaningful. If we were to remember that there is a death, it could become our greatest motivator. It pushes to live fully, love deeply, and love more. When we find ourselves facing the end, when we find ourselves facing the death, the things that once seemed to be so important, our worries, our fears, all begin to lose their power over us. We realize that life is about much more than those passing concerns, not our worries. It is about embracing every moment, even the difficult ones, with lightness in our hearts. There is a certain urgency in life. None of us live forever. Death is always near, hovering over our shoulders, reminding us every day that our time is limited. But this is not something to fear. Instead, it is a call to action. To be good. It is a call to action to be good while we can, to live each day with purpose while we are here. While it is in our power, we must try to make a difference, to be kind and to leave the world a little better than we found it. We have to leave a legacy of our lives while we depart from this planet Earth. Sometimes death smiles at us, and all we can do is smiling back to death. When we accept death as a part of life's natural rhythm, we become free to live without fear. We can greet each day with a smile, knowing that while death will come, we have the power to fill our lives with meaning and joy before death invites us. Because none of us can confidently say that we will still be alive tomorrow. Life is fragile. As we said, life is fragile, and each day is a gift from God. It urges us every day to seize the present moment, to act now, to love now, to live fully, because tomorrow is never promised. Perhaps death is like waking from a troubled dream. We have all experienced the relief that comes when we wake up from a nightmare, realizing it was not real, just it's a nightmare, it's a dream. It may be that death brings us a similar release, a sense of peace and freedom that we cannot yet understand. Many of us dream of leaving behind a legacy. We want people to say, a good person has died. This is the ambition that drives us to live with integrity, to earn our wealth in legitimate ways, and to give back to the society. It is not the material wealth we leave behind that matters, but the goodness we have shared with the world. When the time comes, we need not worry about how to face death. When the time comes, we need not worry about how to face death. Nature itself will guide us, just as we did not know how to be born. When someone we love dies, a part of us goes with them. We feel their absence deeply. We follow them into unknown realms. The bonds we share in life do not end with death. In life, we are constantly building towards death. Every moment, every action is part of the process of preparing for our end. But this is not something to be sad about. It is simply the way life works. From From the moment we are born, we are moving closer to our ancestors. Life is a series of transitions. These transitions bring us nearer to those who came before us. This perspective reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. A lineage that stretches back through time. And if death is the price we pay to live, then it is a price worth paying. Life is a game, and death is simply the stake we put up to play this game. Without death, life would lose its meaning. It is death that gives life its urgency and its purpose and its essence. Sometimes death offers a hiding place for the weary. After a long life filled with struggles, death can be a welcome rest place, a place of peace for those who have grown tired of the world's burdens. The boundary between life and death is often unclear. Who can say when one ends and the other begins? Life and death are part of the same continuum, a journey that we all must take. And as we walk this path, we learn that the true object of life is not merely to live, but to play, to enjoy the beauty and the wonders that surround us. We are lucky. We are so lucky because we are here. We are lucky we are here in the vastness of time. Many potential lives will never be born, never experience the joy and sorrows of this very existence. But we are here alive, and that makes us incredibly fortunate. Knowing this, that we are incredibly fortunate, we should live our lives with gratitude and purpose. Ultimately, the quality of our life matters far more than its length. It is not about how long we live, but how well we live that matters. We may not be able to control the quality of our days, but we can certainly control their quality. We understand that our purpose is not merely to survive, but to love, to serve, and to find joy in the adventure of living. In the end, life and death are intertwined, and life cannot exist without death, and death cannot exist without life. The more we embrace the reality of death, the more fully we can live. It is not about fearing the end. It is not about fearing the end, but about cherishing the time we have, making the most of each day, and leaving behind a legacy that speaks of love, that speaks of courage, and that speaks of peace. It is in this acceptance that we find the essence of life's true meaning. As we reflect on life and death, we begin to see that they are not opposites, but partners in the grand cycle of existence. Death does not diminish the value of life. The death enhances the value of life, reminding us every day that our time here is precious and fleeting. We are not meant to live forever, but while we are here, we have the power to live fully, to love deeply, and to make an impact that will last long after we are gone. In the face of death, we find clarity. We realize that the most important things in life are not the material success or the number of years we accumulate, but the kindness. But the kindness we share, the relationships we build, and the memories we create. We learn that to live without fear of death is truly living. Embracing each day, each moment as a gift, and when our time comes, we can greet death not with sorrow but with a smile, knowing that we have lived well, loved fiercely, and left behind a legacy that matters. Let us live in such a way that when we are gone, the world will remember us not for the things, not for the asset, not for the money, not for the assets we possess, but for the lives we touch. In the end, that is the true meaning of life and death. To love, to serve, and leave the world a little better than we found it. Thank you. Thank you, sir.